everybody. Welcome to Know Your Money. I'm Bronwyn Weiner.
And I'm Craig Finch, and we are from Growth Financial Planning. We hope you enjoy our podcast.
Hi, everybody. Today we have Jonie Peddie from Resilient People. One of Jonie's specialities is the Enneagram. So, Jonie, if you can introduce yourself and just maybe explain what the Enneagram is and how that can help a person just be okay with who they are and in day to day. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. You could get me talking on this topic for 3 days without taking a breath. So the Enneagram is a system of personality. Wait for it. It's 2,500 years old. It's a very old system. Wow. So, yep, Pythagoras used it. There's a whole lot of maths in it. And it was originally Gurdjieff who used it as a system of movement. And then only in the 60s and 70s did we start seeing, the psychology around it. So I studied 33 years ago in New York with the Enneagram Institute. And actually now in July, it's going to be an anniversary of Don Riso he sat in Harvard Business School Library for 10 years, looking at the three-dimensional nature of the Enneagram. So it's a very much a three-dimensional system. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, let's pretend this is an egg in your mom's tummy, okay? And Bronwyn, this egg splits in your mom's tummy. 2 identical twin daughters are growing in her tummy. Mm-hmm. So out pops Bronwyn and out pops Beverly.
Okay.
She chose 2 Bs, okay? You would have different Enneagram types. Mm-hmm. So even identical twins have different mental temperaments.
Okay.
So the interesting part of self-awareness is which temperament was I born? And we each have all of the 9 types within us, but you have a predominant lens on the world. And that's how you solve problems, conflict, communicate with people, how you self-manage in different ways. So yes, your behaviors can change over life, but your Enneagram temperament does not change over life.
So you're born with this, Joni?
You are born with this.
Incredible.
It is incredible. And it's incredible to see how people grow and change over the years. So there might be, you might have a center of gravity here in the average range, and you'll have a elastic band around that. So I might go for a run in the mornings, Craig, and be on top of the world with my mates and, looking at the fauna and flora and discussing things and just feeling so excited about life. And then, be fairly healthy in my type 3 Enneagram type. And then I come back to my desk, I want to type an email, and someone has denigrated my PA, Cheryl, and then I'm blood on that keyboard. So I go from being really a healthy person in terms of understanding people and putting my best self forward to wanting to, chop them off at the knees. So we can all move up and down within half an hour.
Yeah.
But we've really got to understand who we are, what are our lenses on the world, and how do we continue to be our best selves. What should we put on my epitaph is, knowing thyself is the beginning of wisdom. And that's good old Aristotle. So if you know the type that you were born, Craig, you will really be able to put your best foot forward in life and self-manage vastly differently in terms of being self-aware.
And how do you do this? Do you have to go on a program? Like you run a program?
I run a program, but you don't have to do that. So there are times that people come to me for coaching, and yes, I'll ask them to do an assessment online first, but then I'm not slave to the assessment results. Okay. So I'm very lucky that I've done it for 33 years, and I'll be able to ask enough provocative questions so that the person finds out which type they were born. And very often people are using 2 or 3 types, but which type were you born? And there's lots to it. So there's wings, and each type has a subtype, and then there's levels of psychological health. So there's up to 54 variants for each type. There's a lot of depth here, which is why when we get accredited, it's 4 7-day periods in New York. You go back 4 times, 14-hour days. There's a lot of depth to it, a lot of assessments. There are also some Enneagram practitioners who do a 1-day course. Stay away from a little bit of knowledge is dangerous.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's various ways of doing it. But there also sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, look, Joni, I don't want to do an assessment. I just want to chat to you. And in that chatting,
you'll know what they are.
Well, I never tell people I've signed that Hippocratic oath because that robs them of their self-awareness.
Okay.
But I will describe all the 9 types, and ask them enough questions that they will be able to ascertain which they were born. And actually very often they'll describe their partners, their children, and we can ascertain those types as well.
So once you know your type, you've got the knowledge to deal with your general personality or how you react to certain that's the idea behind it, right?
100%.
Okay.
In fact, you're so spot on the money. Excuse the pun. Craig, is that one of my delegates years ago said to me, they'd come on a course with me. I do normally teams, corporate teams. And I never forget, she came up to me and she said, Joni, you know what, I feel like I can see under people's hoods now. I can really understand what makes them tick.
Okay.
And that's really why I get easily bored. So I never read the same book twice, go to a movie twice, but I never tire of teaching the Enneagram because there's so much variety. And it's so interesting, especially corporate teams, looking at the leaders type and then how, it plays out with their team members and new team members joining, etc. It's really fascinating.
Alan
for team
Gray
performance.
uses that a lot. So
Ah,
anyone
okay.
that joins, they have to do the Enneagram and they know how they can work well with each other. And yeah,
Yeah, it's really
It's
game
amazing.
changing.
Yeah.
Understanding how people work well.
So understanding it a little bit more for me, because I'm still stuck, is an Enneagram kind of like psychological profiling?
No, it's more around temperament of attitude and behavior.
Okay.
So-
Could you give me an example of how you would assess somebody for it, just so I can understand?
Or maybe explain the 9 types first and then
Whichever
you'll
way.
Yeah,
understand.
I can give you a very quick answer.
Yeah.
Is they would do, so there's a number of online assessments. Globally, some are great, validated and reliable, and some are assessments that are just put together overnight. So look for a globally validated assessment, and then that will give you the score for all 9 types.
Okay.
And then a skilled practitioner will be able to say, right, Warren, you've got 2 close scores in the type 7 and the type 8. They're neighbors here. Let me ask you enough questions around how you solve problems, how you deal with conflict, how you communicate, how you use innovative thinking, etc. So enough life skill questions, and then help you ascertain which type you were born.
Okay. And what are the 9 types?
So I'll whiz you through them. It doesn't matter where I start. I always start with the type 8 because it's really 3 neighborhoods. So 8, 9s, and 1s live in the anger neighborhood. 8s will act out their anger. They're called a challenger. Trump is a type 8. I won't say much more. Type 9 is called the peacemaker. They deny their anger. They're the neighbor to the type 8. They were like, everything's fine in a meeting.
That's my husband.
Everything's fine
He's
in a
a nine.
relationship, and they
They'll
sweep
blow
it
your
under
house
the
up afterwards.
proverbial carpet. The type 1 is called the reformer or the perfectionist. So this is the right thing to do. They control their anger. No, I'm not angry. So it's just fine. But of course they're angry. So that's all in the anger triad. Then the 2s, 3s, and 4s are
I'm
in
a
the...
2.
Yes, so
Okay.
Bronwyn's a 2, are in the feeling triad. The 2s are beautifully act out their feelings, very, very good. Interpersonal skills. I could tell when I was telling my story earlier on, the
I was starting
emotion
to
that
cry.
came up here, which is so beautiful. It's really beautiful. I'm born at type 3, also in the feeling triad. 3s often deny their feelings in order to achieve and get the task done.
Okay.
And 4s will sink into their feelings. They're very much kind of chin to chest and navel gazing, like, how do I feel about this? And beautifully dramatic and linguistically very powerful. Often, there'll be script writers or poets or, whatever,
Artists,
artists in whatever form, yeah. Then the last triad is the 5s, 6s, and 7s. That's the thinking triad. The 5s are very much the investigator, deep research. How do I know this? Musk is a 5. Elon Musk. Type 6 is the loyalist. They're the most difficult to describe, Warren, out of all the types. They will have a phobic, like, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, and then they'll have a counterphobic side where they'll go in where angels fear to tread. So they are the loyalist more.
Yeah.
And then the 7s are the enthusiasts. They're like, what's happening in the future? Let's make things happen. They've got a thirst for newness and a gluttony for spontaneous experiences.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
In your experience with doing this with people, do you find that there is a majority amongst one number, or is it
No.
spread?
It's literally, I can do this and we have done it around the world, from Mexico to Monaco to Abu Dhabi. And it doesn't matter which country you're in or which culture you're in, there's a spread of types.
Interesting.
There's also, what we've done is a lot of studying on, there's definitely a predominant type in organizations. There's a predominant type in countries as well, just in terms of a behavior set. But there's no one type more than the other.
And where did this originate from? You said it's 2,500 years old. Where did it all
So
start?
the Sufis did a lot with this, and a lot of the early Neoplato philosophers did a lot of gathering of this knowledge, yeah. And then, as I said, Pythagoras used it. So it's a circle. This is on an oval right now because it's in a cake, but it's actually a circle with a triangle and a hexag.
So in a marriage, this could help a lot.
Tremendously. I've done a lot of marriage counseling, a lot.
But you
and
should do it
for
before the marriage, right?
That's true, and I've done that too.
Okay.
So my eldest daughter's about to get married. She's 27. And, you've got to be quite careful in your own home that you're not pushing your own passions on your children. Of course, my they've grown up with it. So they've been on many Enneagram courses with me. She's a type 1, and she's a very strong-minded type 1.
Perfectionist.
Yes, perfectionist. And so she brought home this guy that she'd met at Stellenbosch University, and he's a lovely, quiet guy. He's in the financial services field as well. Very quiet. The peacemaker, type 9. And so I thought, I wonder how this is going to work out. So he started asking me about the Enneagram, and he did an assessment, and I debriefed him. And it was early days. They'd just finished university and living in digs in Johannesburg with all their mates. And he came around one day, and my type 1 daughter was being quite stroppy, unusual for her. Bum, 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 bum. And I was wandering around the kitchen, and I heard him, Nick is his name, say to Kayla, my daughter, Kayla, you never answered my question. And I heard her kind of come to a halt. She was running around the kitchen, and she said, Nick, you're right. I didn't answer your question. And I just thought that deep inner strength of the type 9. So it doesn't matter that he's slightly withdrawn and she's more of an assertive type 1. It's the dance that you do together. So all types, interplay well together, and most especially when they're on the healthy side. Anyway,
so
I
when
did
you
say
say
to
that,
him,
do those lines have meaning as well? How they're joined?
oh yes, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So
You can describe mine if you want.
yes,
I don't mind.
I'll describe Bronwyn's. Okay, she's a problem child.
Yeah.
I'm only teasing.
No, I know.
So Bronwyn, as a type 2 here.
That side.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Yes, there we go. Thank you. Bronwyn was born as a type 2, will die as a type 2. But to be the better version, psychological health as a type 2, she's going to pull on her type 4. So less giving of other people, more self-aware. I mean, you just described courses you've been accredited in. So really investing in yourself, which is a sign of a healthy 2.
So how I can describe it is what I did my Enneagram on was for parenting. So I do give to my kids till basically burnout. And I didn't know how not to. So giving just comes naturally to me. It seems normal, but I give without giving to myself. So lately I have done things like going on a course or taking some time out. And it's helped my relationship with them and my marriage and my work, because now I can feel a little bit more balanced. So for me to go into a 4, which is like, so how it was described is a 2 is a you, what do you need? And a 4 is a me, what do I need? So how do I try to tap into that a little bit, but then not go to the other extreme? Because sometimes I do that in the 2, just give, and then just be like, I just need 5 minutes, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Going all the way to I'll bring in my 8 Donald Trump and scream and get all angry.
Yeah.
So
let me just answer, Warren, just in terms of the linguistics here is important. There's no movement.
Yeah.
You're born this 2, you're going to stay the 2. So what Bronwyn's so beautifully done is she's invested in herself, which makes her a healthier 2. She's gone up the layers of the cake, more high functioning, which means her perspective and her balance is better, and she won't burn out. When she loses the plot and she gets angry, she behaves like an unhealthy type 8. So it's to know, so what we call it is integration, integrate the 4 into the 2, and disintegration. When she's disintegrating, she'll behave like a lower 8. So these lines have a lot of movement. So this is the healthy line, this is the healthy line for a 2 and then an unhealthy line. So if I had to describe it in another way, I love food, okay? If someone had to say to me, Joni, you know what, I've always had oats for breakfast. I find that satiating and that's what I love to have for breakfast. I say, brilliant. Carry on with your oats. That's your type 2. So that you're going to have forever, but you're going to be a better version of your bowl of oats if you add almonds, blackberries, gooseberries, sunflower seeds. So you add to your type 2, which is why these lines diverge. Because the minute Bronwyn's only being the type 2 down here, she's stuck in her type. Yeah. You actually want to be liberated out of your type. So she's become a healthier type 2 because she's pulled on her 4. And actually there's, if we were discussing this at PhD level, you would also pull on the higher piece of your type 8 as well. Okay. So it's all pulling into who you are and just being a better version of who you are.
Incredible. Warren, we need to do this.
I truly do.
Like soon.
Be very good for your marriage.
Yeah.
But Craig, your point that you had earlier is an excellent point, is that I would love young couples to do this before they get married, to really understand and to really dance. And I'll give you another example. With my daughter last night, she came around and she was on a mission as type 1 perfectionist can be. And she was on her soapbox about a certain person in her husband's family. So I said to her, Kayla, you're very clear thinking, because ones can, think in boxes and quite linear, and with their money as well. I said, let's look at this more flexibly. The better version of your type 1 is to be more understanding of this person in that bigger family circle, and actually the assets she will bring to you. And how can you reach out to her without judging her? So the Enneagram, as the last sentence, is called a tool of compassion. And it took me 15 minutes to get through to her last night to say, really, the family motto in our house is less judgment, more compassion. And you've known the Enneagram for all your 27 years, because I spoke to you about it as a baby, is that just be a better version of your type 1. We are all different, accept our differences. And that's what makes the world so exciting. And be more compassionate to yourself and be more compassionate to others. And then you've got it sewn together.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Joni. That was so insightful.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast, would like to subscribe, please visit our website, www.growthfp.co.za. The information we have provided in this podcast is our personal opinion. For more detailed information, please discuss your financial situation with a financial planner.